Hi, I'm Russell Schindler. I'm the CEO and founder of SampleServe, and I'm here to tell you about some exciting opportunities we have at SampleServe and to match some of the exciting growth that we're experiencing and anticipate going forward. You may or may not know this, but most groundwater pollution in the United States is caused by gas stations. Now, there are other types of pollution out there, but the majority of them are from petroleum, the typical retail gas station. Most people don't know this, but about 20% of all gas stations currently have some kind of ongoing problem or release associated with the tanks or maybe the dispenser system. Now, states vary, but every state requires that a groundwater investigation be conducted and that remediation and cleanup be conducted if necessary. So here's the problem. They're still using methods and techniques they developed in the 80s. They're still tracking project details in Excel. They're still writing down field notes and details using handwritten paper in the field. They're still filling out sample bottle labels by hand. They're still filling out chain of custody or lab instructions by hand, and they're still entering all that information back at the office. If you've ever tried to read someone else's handwriting, you'll understand this problem. So then they have to generate all kinds of reports that are required by law. Analytical box maps, ice chemical contour maps, data tables, all kinds of cross sections, groundwater contour maps, and all kinds of graphs, all required by law and all that take days or weeks to generate and cost thousands of dollars. So our solution to this problem is a digital solution that collects all the different players and users of the system under one platform. We have a project management tool that the project planner will actually enter in all the historical data. They'll connect to the laboratory through this platform. They'll set up their sampling schedule, what they're going to sample for, where and when, and then they push that information to the mobile field app. The mobile field app is designed to collect all that information, take photographs, GPS, and then print your sample bottle labels in the field at the time of sampling. And then when you're ready to ship samples to the laboratory, you're going to create your digital chain of custody and then send that to the laboratory. It's an electronic file, it goes to the lab. The lab uses their separate lab app to read that information, log those samples in, saves them a substantial amount of time and effort on login and reduces transcription errors. And then when the lab is done with the analysis, they push the data back to the central database, and then the user is able to generate all the common graphics and reports in a matter of minutes versus days and weeks. So here's a quick video of our project management tool in action. Here's our project planning. You're going to set up your schedule, put in all your sample locations. That then pushes to the mobile field app. You're going to collect the samples, the data. It's going to print your sample bottle labels in the field at the time of sampling. You'll see that our labels are unique and that there's a barcode and a QR code. Then it goes to the laboratory. The lab actually uses those QR codes in our digital chain of custody to receive those samples. You can see they scan the information in very quickly, and then when the lab data is done, they're able to upload that data, and we can generate those reports in a fraction of the time and cost that it would take using traditional methods. Most people can generate their reports in under 5 minutes. So here's our business model. Project management tool, field app, lab app, reporting functionality, all included for $15 per sample. Now, some of these projects go on for over 30 years. Typical life cycle of a project is over 8 years. Typical project is about $1,000 of sampling per year. Give you another example. Valero has over 1,700 projects at $1,000 per project. That's $1.7 million a year, and that's a substantial savings over what they're paying right now. So here's the savings. The typical corner gas station will cost every quarter about $3,300 to $3,800 per sampling event. Using the SampleServe digital solution, we can save them about 40 to 60% of their costs, and we save them in every category of work, from field sampling to project planning to lab login to the report preparation, the graphics. That's the biggest savings. We can save them substantially, and then we end up at about 40 to 60% cost savings. And if you've got 1,700 projects, that's a substantial amount of savings. So the environmental services engineering market is a huge worldwide market. In 2018, it was over $33 billion. By 2024, it'll be over $44 billion. And it's all driven by environmental regulations and environmental liability. So here's our projected financials for the next 5 years. We key in on numbers of samples at the top because that's really the revenue generator. But one client like Valero would actually put us right up in here in no time. And we've talked to a couple of companies, 7-Eleven, Valero, some other minor players, engineering companies that have high volumes of samples. So one of those companies, or even two of them, put us up here automatically. We leapfrog into our financial projections pretty substantially. So there are some people out there doing some of the things that we do, but there's no one doing all the things that we do. And the biggest differentiator between us and any competition out there is we're the only ones printing labels in the field at the time of sampling, and the only ones with a digital chain of custody. And that chain of custody actually pushes information to the laboratory. And if you can see, we're the only ones doing anything with laboratories, which is a key to the whole environmental process. So if you're neglecting the laboratory, good luck on having a successful platform. So here's our team. That's me over there. I'm the CEO. I'm a geologist. Got over 33 years in the environmental industry. This is Mike Franklin, computer science engineer. The guy can work magic with software. He's doing things that no one else is doing. Paul Goodrow is on our board. Over 40 years in the environmental industry. He also is leading our sales effort. Guy knows everybody in the industry. Then Eric Bergsma, he's our financial guy, does all our billing, accounting, MBA in business administration. We've had some exciting things happen in the last year. We've got some good traction in the industry. These are existing customers. You can see there's some pretty big players in the industry. 7-Eleven, for instance, they keep adding projects with us. They're one of the largest retail petroleum gas station owners in the world. Valero, these are some of the trials we got. Valero's done a couple of trials. We've got trial projects going on as we speak, going very well. They've got 1,700 sites. If we can get them to let us do all of them, that would be fantastic, substantial amount. Here's some channel partners, people we're working, developing, co-marketing with. For instance, Hydroterra is actually representing SampleServe in Australia, and things are going very well, and we're expecting big things in the next coming months. So we're looking to raise $2 million to keep adding and facilitating the growth that we're experiencing. It's an equity round. We've raised $2.2 million to date over the last 3 years, and we would use the $2 million raise to add additional staff and customer acquisition, customer support, and also engineering staff for additional feature enhancement and development. So we anticipate an exit in 3 to 6 years via an acquisition. There are 3 types of companies that might be interested: software companies, engineering companies, and laboratories. Some of these companies have products that we could help them with. These engineering companies, they're obviously in the environmental industry. Some of these companies have already asked and inquired whether we'd be interested in selling. No one's made an offer yet. And then laboratories would be another big potential buyer. And 2 of these labs down here have already asked if we'd be interested in selling. So a potential acquisition is certainly on the table in a very short amount of time. So there are numerous market verticals that we could get into. We don't really care what you're sampling. The process is similar, and we've developed our product so it doesn't really matter what you're sampling. It's the sample collection process that's important. We can sample cannabis, we can sample biologics and wetlands material, air, asbestos. We even think our product, because of the digital chain of custody, would be very valuable and important in the forensics or CSI type of investigations. So one of those market verticals is the residential drinking water market. And we've built a special product for that. It's called Sample H2O. It's designed to let the homeowner sample their own drinking water using a retail type kit and then drop that sample off at the laboratory. It makes it very simple. They don't have to download an app on their phone. Let me show you how that works. This would be perfect for situations like the city of Flint. So it's Sample H2O. It is a residential drinking water product designed for the homeowner to collect their own samples. The most common types of samples in residential drinking water are E. coli, lead and copper, and nitrates and nitrates. Now, there was a local laboratory that was considering getting out of the drinking water market because they were spending too much time per sample. They're one-off samples. E. coli's got to be run in 18 hours, so it's got to be a local lab. You can't ship overnight. 18-hour hold time. So they were going to get out of the market because of the time involved in the reporting and data entry. We built this product. They're using it and loving it. We've got them down to 90 seconds per sample of labor on the data entry and the reporting. So there are 135 other labs in the state of Michigan that do very similar testing. And so we're planning on marketing all those other labs and having them have their own branded product, and then moving out into other states and other parts of the world as well. So a huge potential for this type of product. There's nothing else like it out there on the market. So we're anticipating big things and a bright future for this sample H2O product. Again, nothing else like it out there. And so what we're looking for is your help to also get this product out there. And if you're interested, I can be contacted at this phone number here. That's my personal cell phone number, or you can email me right here and we can provide any additional information you might be interested. Thank you for your time.